So another question, I guess, was really based off of really a segue into this from your commentary. So if we're removing the middleman, then what role do you think the clergy can play for us? So our ability to understand the faith is based on our own interpretation versus having to listen to what the clergy has to say, I guess.
Yeah, I think first of all, I would say, in Islam, there's no sense of clergy versus layman. I mean, that's a concept I think has been borrowed from other faiths, primarily from Christianity and to some extent from Judaism. I think if you look at the Prophet himself, he was more of a civic leader as opposed to a religious leader. I think it's a community that has come together and defined what Islam is all about and how they want to conduct themselves. I believe that there is going to be scholars who can understand and help us explain things, but there has to be this collective dialogue, there has to be discourse, there has to be a sense of consensus building, as opposed to one imam or one sheikh can interpret for us. So in that sense, I believe that the way we need to move forward is not have religious institutions. We should have civic institutions where there are going to be scholars, there's going to be community people who are able to discuss openly and freely, and it should be gender neutral. I mean, I think in many of our community settings, women doesn't have a voice, and that's just unacceptable. And to say that half of humanity doesn't have an opinion on things that we do, it just doesn't make sense. So I believe in scholarship, I believe in informed judgment, but on the other hand, I believe that collective wisdom is much better, and that's what I think God intended, is that every human being is given empowered, and we all need to play our role.
So the clergy in that regard could sort of share the knowledge, but really give the parishioners the permission, I guess, to be part of the discourse.
I would probably not even use that framework at all, because I think the framework itself becomes problematic, right? When you say there's a church or there's a mosque and there's an imam, that defines certain relationship. And to me, that relationship is kind of flawed, right? I would say we don't need an imam, quote unquote.
Or a clergyman.
Or clergyman, for that matters. I think community at any given time can decide, okay, this person is going to lead the prayer, if that's a ritual prayer we're talking about. But as far as commenting on how to understand our faith, we should all have equal voice, but we should be paying attention to someone who, if that person is qualified, have done their homework and have been educated, we should be very attentive, and we should pay attention that that person cannot dominate and saying that's the only opinion that counts. And I feel that people who live a normal life, they work, they raise families, they're much more tuned to the realities of life than somebody sitting in the mosque or in the church and kind of preaching. I don't think that knowledge is conducive to everyday life.